Hey guys, welcome to another video, and my name's Akene. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that I was insecure about for a really long time, and something that pretty much only like my family and like my really close friends know about me. And that's the fact that I actually didn't receive my IB diploma from high school. And so for those of you who don't know, the IB program essentially stands for International Baccalaureate, and only a certain number of schools in the nation have it. And it's basically like AP, except with the goal of IB, they want everyone to basically be more well-rounded. So in addition to taking more difficult classes, you have community service hours that you have to do. In my case, it was both junior and senior year. We had those requirements. You have an extended essay that you have to do on a topic that you choose. You have other projects and things like that for classes known as IAs, or internal assessments. And on top of all of that, in addition to having harder classes, by the time junior and senior year come around and you're starting to take those exams, out of your 6 IB classes, 3 of them have to be higher level and the other 3 have to be standard level. So for me, my 3 higher level classes were business, history, and English. And my 3 standard level classes were Spanish, math, and biology. And so I feel like where I should start, my freshman and sophomore year, things started off going really well. I was really motivated, and because of that, my grades were really good. So my second semester sophomore year, I got like straight A's. And then I think junior year, because for us, the way that it was, your freshman and sophomore year, you're in what's called the pre-IB program. And essentially that's basically just geared to get you ready for junior and senior year. And so by the time junior year came around, the real IB program started. And I definitely noticed the increase in difficulty and the increase in coursework. And because of that, the same amount of work that would get me A's and B's freshman and sophomore year, all of a sudden was getting me C's junior year. And so I just feel like I never recovered from just seeing that dip in my GPA. And especially by the time senior year came around, I feel like I was so ready to be done. I had senioritis like everyone else. And what also didn't help was, at the time, I feel like I struggled with self-confidence and insecurity. And not only did that show in terms of schoolwork, but also in terms of trying to talk to girls and things like that. I really struggled, and I felt like my insecurity with girls and things like that just, followed over into my grades. And just not having that confidence in myself in terms of school and performing just really hurt my grades. And so by the time senior year rolled around, I knew that at this point I was like, well, I'm applying for schools. If I can just get into a school, at that point I can just kind of cruise, to graduation. And that's essentially what I did. I ended up getting into school, and I really just stopped trying. And what's scary is the school that I ended up going to at the end of my senior year. So not only did I not get my diploma, but they also sent me a letter saying, hey, we noticed that your last semester, your grades were lower than what your GPA was at the time that we accepted you. And this is just a warning that essentially you don't want to keep going down this path, because you don't want to end up being on academic probation to start your college career. And so that, I feel like, was pretty scary. And that was definitely, I guess, like a short-term wake-up call to just try not to let my grades slip to the point that they did. And I also feel like, going back to IB, one thing that happened to me was by the time exams rolled around, I had taken the Spanish exam my junior year, at the end of my junior year, and I had gotten a 5 on it. And personally, I had felt that Spanish was my weakest subject area. And I think for me to get a 5 on it, I really just let my guard down as far as studying. Like, aside from Spanish, I studied for Spanish because I knew it was my weakest subject area. But for all of my other classes, I didn't study at all. So literally for English, it was just all of the in-class reviews we did. That was essentially all that I did. And I even remember it got so bad that the day before I believe it was the day before my biology exam, I was at the gym with some of my friends until like 1 in the morning. Then we went to IHOP, and so by the time I ended up getting home, it was about 2 o'clock or 2:30. And I remember sleeping in and thinking that my exam started at 11 o'clock, but it actually started at 10:30. So I'd almost actually missed that exam. And so fortunately I was able to still take the exam and everything. But yeah, I think I had just gotten so complacent. I was so ready to be done that I just didn't study for any of my tests aside from Spanish. And I just assumed that because I had scored so high in Spanish, that everything else would just kind of be a cakewalk comparatively. And so, yeah, it was tough. It was, I think, the hardest for me because my parents could see that I wasn't really trying. And they had told me, constantly that I need to be putting in more effort and I need to be more dedicated. But at the time, you don't really understand that because I feel like I was so ready to just start college and just be done that I just figured I was just trying to do the bare minimum and still get by. So, I think one of the things I learned from not getting my diploma, though, looking back on everything, was just not to let short-term feelings, I guess, get in the way of long-term goals. So essentially, you might not, feel like studying today necessarily, but it's not necessarily about thinking about your feelings right now in the moment. It's about thinking about how things will unfold down the road. So you might not feel like doing an assignment, but you need to think about, 2, 3, 4 months down the road when the semester ends and you get your grades, how will that affect your GPA? Those nights that you didn't want to do your homework and you didn't want to put the time in to prepare for exams. So yeah, you guys, I just wanted to make a video real quick and talk to you guys about my struggles with the IB program, and just hope that essentially it can give you guys that are going through the program or have gone through the program and maybe didn't get your diplomas as well, just some, value, and essentially just letting you guys know that you're not the only one out there, that is struggling right now or is going through a rough patch in school. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that video for you guys. And, if you've stayed all this time, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And just comment, like, subscribe, and tell me, give me some feedback. Tell me, what you guys think about the video. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.